Well, hello, my fabulous friends. Oh, I forgot to put my Christmas lights on. I hope you're doing well. Well, I'm going to continue on with the past life, the previous life readings I've been doing. I seem to be getting a lot of really good responses on them. The clock agrees. These are great, fun reads to do. And sometimes they explain why people are the way they are in this lifetime. So today I'm going to be doing King Charles. And Queen Camilla will be the second one for today. I've done Harry, I've done Meghan, I've done William, and I've done Catherine. So now I'm going to do the King and Queen. And we're going to continue on with these as long as you like them and they're interesting and I get good feedback. I'll keep going through the royals. I think Andrew's would be really impressive. But like all my readings, I'm starting with let's start with a good positive message. Some of us just need some kind of little encouragement to make it through this season, whether you're lonely or you're just so overwhelmed and busy, or financials, whatever. Let's just get a nice little forest creature message for us to start our reading off. Sacred powers. Connect with your inner strength. When you're outside in the wild, breathe deeply and allow this sacred exchange with nature to replenish you. Stag spirit. And this is a repeat. So this must mean that some of you really need to hear this, to get outside, get out of the shopping mall, get out of the city, go just chill in nature. Go find a little park somewhere. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. And with all the readings, these are just the previous lifetime to their current lifetime. All right. And I've been kind of neglectful in saying this, but I'm going to try and remember anyways. Since this is a living person, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is a tarot reading of my own creation, and it shall be taken as such. Full disclaimer down below. Okay, so first off, we're going to find out what gender was King Charles in his previous life. What gender? And again, so this would be, we're going back to the early 1800s-ish. And back then they used male, female, woman, man, boy, girl. So that's what we're going to use as well. So was King Charles male or female in his previous life? In his previous life, just next to this one. And he was a male. He was the King of Swords. King of Swords. So he was a male. All right. So now we've discovered he was a male. Now we're going to find out what his parents, what kind of personality his parents have. And the reason we're going to look that up is because, was your parent there? Was your parent absent? Either due to death or divorce, or left the family if there wasn't divorce, or even put in jail or an asylum. So let's find out. And it's important that we know this because how your childhood forms your life and some of the directions in your life. So let's find out. So Charles' father, what was the personality type of Charles' father? And we have King of Gifts. So he had a very successful father. His father might have been quite a bit older by the time he was born. He could have been even very wealthy. Could have been very wealthy. So let's find out about King Charles's previous lifetime. What is the energy around his mother? What was the personality? What was the energy around his mother? And was she there? Or was she an absent mother? Oh, Queen of Good Cheer, Queen of Cups. So it looks like King Charles grew up until age 18 with both his parents. And it looks like they would have probably had a very good relationship. Pentacles and cups tend to get along quite famously. The cups would be emotional support, and the pentacles would be financial support. So let's see, what kind of how emotionally supportive household did he grow up in? And we're going to ask the cups this card. Oh, I forgot to tell you, if in case this is the first time you're here, when we do this specialized reading, we separate the majors, the suits, and the courts, so we can ask these specific questions. So what was the emotional environment in the household that King Charles grew up in? Oh, two of good cheer. Yeah, his parents really got along well. Really got along well. Might have even felt like they were soulmates. Sometimes when that happens, though, in a family, even though it's a happy family, because the parents are getting along, the parents become really stuck on each other rather than the children. And that would have been applicable in the 1800s, where it's only been about the last 100 years that where children were seen and not to be heard, right? So we might have had a couple, even though they were emotionally stable and loved each other very much, they might have been a lot into themselves rather than into the family. But let's see what was the financial atmosphere in the home that Charles grew up in his previous life. Where's the financial atmosphere? Where's the financial atmosphere? Seven of gifts. Okay, so he might have grown up in a home that was they had a lot of assets, but maybe not a lot of cash flow. And I explained this in another video, and this is a lot of royals have this. They live in these big, beautiful abbeys, but they cost a lot of money to maintain. They cost a lot of money in servants. And so you grow up with a lot of wealth, but a lot of your money is tied up in assets. So that actually would make sense because his father was successful. So maybe maybe they were huge landowners, or something like that, and a lot of the money is tied up in assets that is the actual physical building or the actual land, and you don't see a return on it until much later. So grew up in affluence, but a lot of the money was not free flowing, let's put it that way. They had some, but most of their wealth was in property, real estate, land. Could have even been in a business, but they were certainly wealthy. All right, so now let's see how Charles developed his personality over his lifetime. And so we'll start with pages, with the pages. How was Charles in his previous lifetime as a child? So we're looking at age 0 to 18. We're looking at 0 to 18. How was Charles 0 to 18 in his previous lifetime? How was Charles 0 to 18 in his previous lifetime? Page of gifts. Very quiet child, very studious, enjoyed reading, enjoyed being alone, enjoyed learning. Very, somewhat almost like what he was like in this lifetime. Like, I'm pretty sure if we didn't know, if Charles wasn't a royal and in the public eye, I'm pretty sure he would have just enjoyed his little garden and reading his books and doing all his organic stuff and whatnot. All right, so let's see, how is Charles as a young adult? And this will also tell us if he got married young. So this is 18 to 35. 18 to 35. What was Charles doing in his previous lifetime as a young adult, 18 to 35? Ooh, Knight of Gifts. So this is telling me that he was kind of stuck. Maybe he was in school. He really didn't know what to do with his life. He may have been married and ended that marriage, so that's why he was stuck. But he was somewhat in inertia. Didn't really progress a lot. Might have tried a business and it failed, might have tried a relationship and it failed, but really didn't get any progress going. So let's see what he was like as a mature adult. That would be age 35 and over. And we're talking about his previous life. What was Charles like in his previous life as a mature adult, age 35 and over? What was his basic personality? Wow. King of Swords in reverse. Wow. Something changed his life. Something changed his life. That he became quite self-centered, quite selfish, quite cold, cutting. I wonder if he became quite wanting to be alone, not wanting to mix in general society. Something happened here as an adult. So let's see, and this is generally the King of Swords is generally a widower or divorced. So let's see what happened here. Let's now ask about his partner. All right. And we're assuming his partner was female because back then that was, only males and females could get married. So let's ask the cards, what was the personality of his partner? So if the first one shows up in reverse, that shows a broken relationship, whether they were just a relationship or actually married. And so then we pull again, and if we get 3 reversals, that means he never married. Okay. What was his partner like, if at all? If at all. What was his personality of his partner like? Okay. Oh, Queen of Candles. So he was married. Queen of Candles, so that would be the Queen of Wands. So that would be somebody who was fun-loving, who traveled a lot, not necessarily the motherly type, but definitely a fun wife to have. Maybe she did put up with him. Maybe she did. Maybe they had their own kind of separate lives. She went her way, and the Queen of Wands can be quite independent, even when married. So she could have gone her way, and he went his. So let's find out what was the happiness quotient in that family, in that household with his partner. What was the happiness like? What was the happiness level? What was the happiness level in that family? What was the happiness level in that family? What was the happiness in that family? 7 of good cheer. Well, it was really up and down. It was really up and down. They had good years. They had bad years in a cycle. It was a confusing relationship. Are we together or aren't we? Yeah, it was. I'm almost getting options. I'm almost getting options. I don't know what that feels like to you. But let's see what was the financial. What was the financial? What was the financial energy with that relationship? What was the financial energy with that relationship? What was the cards are ready. 9 of gifts. Well, they were definitely wealthy. They were definitely wealthy, or the wife was left very wealthy. Interesting, we have the Queen of Candles here sitting in this red chair, and then ends up with the 9 of Gifts as an elderly woman and I wonder if he left her, because he was the King of Swords in reverse, and like I said, that's a divorced man or widowed man. Let's quickly ask, did he leave the relationship? Did he leave the relationship by death or divorce? Did he leave the relationship by death or divorce? Did he leave the relationship by death or by divorce? No, I don't need to split them. I just need to pick one. Six of Canes, Six of Swords. He left. He left. Wow. And you think about it, he left, his first marriage. Interesting that the swords and the wand showed up, and in this lifetime, he's cups, and both his partners have been cups. And the parent showed up as the Two of Cups. So he might have not had a very happy relationship at all. He left his wife very wealthy. But he left. He didn't die. He left. He left his wife very wealthy, which is something he did this lifetime. And he left Diana. Diana left a lot wealthier when they were divorced. Interesting that this lifetime he's looking for that Two of Cups relationship, that soulmate relationship. And you know what? He wasn't happy until he had it. He wanted the same relationship that his parents had. And I think that's why when he first met Camilla, he wouldn't let it go because he wanted that relationship. But yeah, he left this relationship. He was the one who left. And it could even just, getting in the car and driving away. Very, very interesting. Okay, let's see. I got my notes here. Okay. Okay. Now let's see what his occupation was. Now that we know who left who. Well, he left her. I'm not going to read about his spouse, but if I was doing your reading and you wanted to find out, then I would go deeper, or a little bit deeper into why you were leaving, right? So again, this is like a bird's eye view of a past life reading. When I do it for you personally, it is much, much deeper and more complex. We go in, do you want to know how many siblings you had? Did you have siblings? Are they with you in this lifetime? That kind of thing. So let's see. What was his occupation and was he successful at it? What was his occupation and was he successful at it? What was his occupation and was he successful at it? Let's see. Oh, he was a teacher, and yes, he was very successful at it. Or this would be like a professor, or, I don't think you can be Sinterklaas. Occupations, let's see, this is the cheat sheet for past life. It's a little bit different than the regular tarot. A cleric, a spiritual leader, priest, counselor, well, the actual Hierophant, the Pope he can't be, a wise man, advisor, teacher, a part of the establishment, role model for community, rule maker, conventional and traditional, duty, conforming. Well, and he was very successful at it, I don't know how successful. He could have been a man of the cloth or a religious leader and then leave his family. So I don't think that was it. I think he was probably a teacher or something duty, like maybe a government worker kind of thing. But yet they were wealthy, but that could have been intergenerational wealth because it did show his parents were wealthy, did have assets. So maybe eventually those assets were sold and created into cash after, his parents passed away and whatnot. But it looks like he was, or it could have been a counselor. but he was very successful at it. Look at this. I find this fascinating. Look at the animals around there, and he's very much into animal care in this lifetime as well. But it's so last time he was a spiritual leader, and this time he's actually like he's a king. He's the emperor. So he moved up, and the emperor's 4, and the Sinterklaas or the um, Hierophant is 5, so he's moved up a level. See, he's now the emperor in this lifetime. So that means he was successful with what he did, and he got to move up. So let's see what is his soul purpose. Oh, I keep doing this. I keep forgetting to pick these up or turn these over. What is his soul purpose in this lifetime? 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 Ooh, Empress. Pregnant with possibilities. I don't think that means he's supposed to have a sex change. This is, let's see, to learn to love and value yourself, to make the most of yourself, to allow yourself to feel sexual, to nurture and care for children, to be a nurturing and caring parent, to work with children and animals, to become a strong environmentalist, which he has, to rescue abused animals, to campaign for the protection of wildlife. Well, yes, he has. To develop and use and share your natural creative talents. Understand he's quite a gardener and a painter. To become a singer, dancer, musician, artist, actor, to be a social worker, to promote the use of, this he has completed, to promote the use of herbal, organic, natural products and foodstuffs. So yes, that was his soul. And because it's in reverse, he hasn't completed it. And I think where he's stumbling, is to be a nurturing and caring father, to nurture and care for children. And where he may feel like he's stumbling and not completing this is with Harry. The chasm with Harry is stopping him from his soul purpose. And this may be why we see he's not really doing a lot about it. Why he's not taking away, why he's not being that cruel and unusual parent, right? That, slams the door, and why he keeps the door open, and why he is treating them with kids' gloves, and why he isn't clapping back. And of course, I know the royals are never explain, never complain. Of course, I know that. But this might explain why he's not bringing out the sword and cutting all ties and taking away this and taking away that. Because part of his soul contract is to nurture and care for children, even when those children are terrible. Even when those children are terrible. So this is in reverse. So he's got some of it. The use of herbal, organic, natural products. He's not, he paints and he gardens. He's certainly not a musician or an artist or an actor or anything like that. He has done some work with wildlife. I don't know about the to develop your femininity. I think he's quite balanced in his masculine and feminine aspects. Other people might argue with me, but I don't find him overly feminine. I don't find him overly masculine. I think he has he does have a good balance of that aspect. I find that just really, really super interesting that he is trying to balance what he failed at doing. And I wonder if he failed at it because he left their mother. That's actually really fascinating. Okay, so let's see, what lesson is he here to learn this lifetime? What lesson is he here to learn this lifetime? So in his last lifetime, it sounds like he struggled. Ooh, the devil and the star. Well, some of you know, and it doesn't apply to this reading, but some of you know, Diana is the star. I normally read Diana as the star, so that's interesting that showed up. So what he is learning in this lifetime, but anyways, we know what he didn't learn in his last lifetime that he is really correcting in this lifetime. So let's see, what did he come to learn? And the devil is right side up. So he is definitely, well, this is like to overcome addictions. I don't think he has any. To fight for your freedom. Well, he did. He fought for his freedom to marry the person that he loved, to stand up to corruption and evil, to right a wrong, to right a wrong. Well, yeah, he married the wrong girl. And that's not taken away from Diana. It's not her fault. He married the wrong girl, so to right a wrong, and he ended up marrying the right girl. He ended up marrying his Two of Cups. To understand that no one owns you or has control over you. To have a mind of your own and not be easily led. Well, it took him 70 years, didn't it? To act conscientiously, to only surround yourself with positive and optimistic people, to face your own personal demons and deal with them, to not let cruel and abusive acts of others destroy your life, to learn to live a simpler life, to be less materialistic. And you know what? Isn't he the one who's saying he wants to contract the royal family, to contract the working royals, to simplify things? And that's what he's here to do. To be less materialistic. He's very well known for making things do and repairing things rather than replacing them. To develop your spiritual side, he certainly has. To work with children of addicts. So I wonder, there might be a bridge there. To help open a refuge center. I don't know, has he done that? Well, I would say because it's upright, he is actually living what his sole purpose is this time. To face your personal demons and deal with them, to not let the cruel and abusive act of others destroy your life. Well, we know who that is, and look at the little boy and girl. Wow. Well, there is an echo from his previous life into this life. There is definitely an echo. Definitely an echo. Interesting to see if anything to do with Harry's admittedly drug and alcohol problems, if that's for Charles to continue on his soul journey to help deal with that he sees it firsthand, so that pushes him to work with it in a more public manner. Well, if you'd like your own past life reading, I hope you're getting intrigued by these. I certainly am. They're really fun to do. The link is down below. Just go ahead and book your session, and thank you very much for watching. Take good care. See you online. Bye for now.